What is going on? What is going on? Ask me anything, motherfuckers. So in the meantime, while we wait for people to join, I think we're just gonna chill. People that all are here, tell me if you can hear stuff good. Hey, good morning, Ian. That's the way you say it. Hey, what's going on, Dylan? SPLK. Sure, let's check it out. Start with the daily chart. Hey, what's going on, Luca, man? Nice to see you. No problem, man. Enjoy your weekend. SPLK. Daily chart is bullish. As you can see, we've been closing higher every single day here in a row. So as long as that pattern is present, I would say on the daily time frame, keep a bullish bias. You know, like you could zoom out a little bit, you can say there's a bit of this area here at this 134.80 handle. I would imagine this could act as some temporary resistance, because judging on, if you look at the longer term perspective, it does look as though some longs might be trapped in this area. And judging on how fast it's moving up at this point, it feels like it could pause as it approaches this area. So if you're long on this, probably a decent area to get paid around here as you approach the 134.80 zone. If I zoom in a little more and I look at the 30-minute, well, we can see pretty much that we've been moving up here. So as long as we're holding, you know, short-term levels, if you want short-term levels, the volume is really light here, so it's kind of hard to gauge anything. So for example, I don't really have much of a reference for volume, but I do think it's because I don't have the data for this. Could it be? What exchange does this trade on? NASDAQ? I should have the data. I have NASDAQ on TradingView, so that's weird. Well, what I can see here is from 2 days ago, you have this 123.34. That seems like an area to watch. And everything above here is kind of like a single print almost. The volume is very light overall. I can see as well here, 126.35. So these are like demand zones that you kind of want to be watching. Areas that you might want to place bids if you wanted to get long on this thing. So overall bullish bias. That's how I see it. Cool. Couple low volume areas here. As you can see here in this area, we kind of went straight through it. And then again here, another low volume area right here. So there's a chance that it can pause and fill the gap here. Gap fill and then pause in this sort of range. I've seen that happen a lot. What's happening, guys? Hope you guys are well today. We're gonna do a little live stream. See if I can fix my chart. NQ held above that 2-day demand zone. Makes sense. Hey, no problem, Dylan. Etienne, can you make SAP? SAP. SAP? On Nicey. Is this the one? Is this the one right here? SAP? Market closed. Time for a walk. This market is closed. I love trading you for that. So just confirm with me, Etienne, that this is the SAP you're looking at here. And also tell me if the music's too loud, because it might be. I'm gonna actually lower it just a tad, so that way you hear my voice louder. And also, what is it? Oh, it's the session volume that was bothering me. There we go, okay. Also that VWAP, I can take that off the chart temporarily. On CAC40, okay, SAP. I don't know. I don't know what that is, CAC40. I really don't know what that is. So just get it in the chart, get it in the chat. Because look, I'll show you, look. These are the symbols I have on TradingView. The one that trades on the New York stock, the one that trades on the TSX, which is Sapporo. Shout out Sapporo. And that's pretty much all we got here. Other than that, that's it. Okay, next. What do you think about Zoom? Got long at 295 or holding for now? ZM, right? I remember this. Okay, Zoom, daily chart. Bullish on the daily chart. That's what I can see first thing. If you got long at 295, good for you, sir. That was a decent area. In hindsight, of course. I would say you are approaching some overhead resistance on the daily chart, but I wouldn't say there's any red flags yet. So it seems like you're in a pretty good position here on the daily chart. What I would say is, as you start to approach this high volume node here, you probably want to look to take some off a little bit. I mean, you got to get paid at some point, right? Daily chart's bullish. 30-minute chart, last session trading range here. What you would like to see the next session. Well, I don't know how you're trading this. If this is a swing trade, you're holding multiple days. But if you want to zoom in a little bit and look at intraday chart, you're going to see this. You want to see it above 375.40 to keep a bull bias. Zoom out a little, zoom in a little more here. Yeah, around there at 375.40, you definitely want to see it above that and keep a bull bias above that. You do not want to be short biased above that. If you do, you're asking for trouble. That's about as much as I can see here. Let's get my session profiles back. SVPSV, that's it. Again, the volume's kind of light there. 365.90, that seems like a reasonable area to bid all the way down to about 361. Give or take 361.70. Seems like a decent area to place some bids on this ticker here. But again, guys, I don't know shit. I'm just sharing with you kind of my form of analysis is related to market profile. So I look at volume at price more than I look at traditional forms of support and resistance. Because I find it gives you a better idea of where traders are doing business and where they did business and where the market's likely to bounce off of and stuff. Instead, support and resistance is more of like kind of like a made-up concept almost. It's not really based on anything factual, but again, it depends, right? It does depend. So let's see here what we got going here. Not a ticker question. Do you have any thoughts on Renko charts? I haven't really checked them out, to be honest. I think TradingView has it. Let's see. It looks similar to range charts. As you can see, the volume at prices are all messed up here. But honestly, I haven't used them enough to tell you anything. I do have experience using range charts, which are a little more reasonable, and it's a good way of kind of cleaning up the price action if you need to look at what happened on the session. Range bars are a pretty reasonable way to to see that in a clear way here. Are you from Canada by any chance? Yes, sir. Tesla bull flag hourly. Oh, I'm still on Renko here. Tesla daily chart seems to be in some sort of a trading range here. Okay, Tesla bull flag hourly. I don't really like. Again, guys, you might not. Some of you are gonna say, "What the hell, man?" But things like that, like bull flags and head and shoulders, you guys know that those are made up patterns, right? Like, just because a market is kind of pulling back slowly and it hasn't reached its whatever 318 extension or whatever it is, the short-term Fibonacci extension, it doesn't mean that it's likely to stop there and you should continue bull bias. But again, that's where my style of analysis differs from that traditional style a little bit. Tesla bull flag hourly, I mean, the way I see it is this. We moved up on Friday's session here and we consolidated from this area right here, roughly 624.5. If you get above that, you want to keep a bull bias. If it stays below that, you don't want to keep a bull bias in the short term because there's a chance we can come back and test in this range here. So I would say the demand zone would start around 614.5, give or take. And below that, you really don't want to be long biased. And I'm speaking short term here. Short term, look, I'm looking at a 30-minute chart. Everything here, this is all a huge single print up. So there is a chance to come down and test this area a little bit more if it can hold under 614. Above 624.5, long biased all the way, sir. All right, Etienne, SAP on the DAX. Now you're talking, baby. XETR, I think that's the one, yeah, on the DAX, the German markets. Here we go. All right, just a sec. Again, it's always the session volumes that are kind of annoying me here. And this SAP, for some reason it looks like the other one, but let's see here. Again, daily charts are always weird. I'm zooming out just a bit. I mean, look at this massive gap here. That's just like insane. All right, let's look at the most recent price action here on the SAP, whatever you're talking about. So give or take, 120 area seems to be an important pivot here on this stock. In terms of demand zone, you're looking at 112.60, give or take. This seems like an area where you want to be long biased above that, more or less. And as you can see on the test, we held that. And this is still bullish here. So another pivot would be 115.5 to 116, give or take. And you can see the high volume node there. On the resistance side, you're looking up at 120, basically. 12-hour chart, 2-hour chart. And again, it's a little hard to gauge it because you don't have overnight activity here. 30-minute chart is bearish. As you can see here, many bars closing below the low of the next. This means the market is going down. A lot of traders mistake these types of things. They look at this and they say, oh, that's just consolidation. But really, when you see every bar after the next closing lower than the next, that means one thing. It's very obvious. It means the market is going down. Don't fade it. So yeah. So you have that 120 area, and you have this on the 30-minute chart. I'm seeing this now, 117.30, give or take about to 117.50. So this would be your demand zone to watch. Probably a decent area to take a long scalp. And if you hold below that, you don't want to be long biased short term. So you know, that's kind of how I do my analysis. Let me know what you guys think, give or take. And I found it actually to be quite reliable on futures markets. So it feels like it would work as well. Can you put your camera image lower left? Ah, you're right, sir. I'll do that. Haha. Good call, good call, good call, good call. Okay, so we did that. Longer term hold, but managing accordingly. Big Toasty says, can we see your trade performance? Yeah, sure. What do you want to see? The month, the year? I'll be honest with you, this month I'm basically flat here. I'm gonna show you my month, and you guys are gonna say good for you, because this month, I'll be honest with you, has been quite slow for the majority part of the month, and just this week alone, it picked up a little, but not really in a good way. It picked up in a way that is just like a little too crazy. So I just want to make sure my account number is not showing anywhere here. All right, here, let's go to the next screen. So this is the month of June here for me. And I only trade NASDAQ futures micros. You can see I'm down $60 on the month. And that includes my commissions. Don't show the account number. Hold up. There we go. So as you can see, most days I'm grinding, right? On average here, my green days are not bigger than my red days. But if you look at the red days, they're very minimal. Look at the trading here. 4 trades, 4 trades, 5 trades, 7 trades, 7 trades, 4 trades. Really light trading this month. So I would say this month and towards the end of last month, I've definitely been trading lighter and really being more picky with my overall setups. And even though I'm more of a scalper, meaning I trade short term, and my trade time is anywhere from a few seconds to a few minutes, not more than a few minutes normally. I'm very picky with the conditions, and I pull a lot of orders in my setup. So if you guys watch my live trading videos during the week, I mean, half of you don't understand what you're looking at because you're looking at a depth of market. But if you see the way that I trade, without going into a lot of details, you see that I pull out a lot of orders. I put in orders, but then I pull them out because of various nuances that are indicating to me that those orders are no longer good at those prices. So overall, kind of light trading this month, and that's where I'm at, you know. Maybe we'll see some better activity next month. Dylan, that's cool, man. Hey Vlad, what's going on, boss? What are your thoughts about Jigsaw and Sierra charts? I used both of them. I used Jigsaw more because I really like their DOM. Vlad, that's fucking hilarious. I've used Sierra charts. I think Sierra charts is an amazing platform for guys that are learning about order flow and learning how to use footprint charts. I would say Sierra charts is really a great platform for that. But once you have a general idea of what you're looking for, then I would say you don't really need it. Like, that's kind of what I went through. I used Sierra charts because Jigsaw's footprints were kind of still in beta and they were kind of broken. So I let Jigsaw fix their charts up a little, and I used Sierra charts in the meantime. And sorry, I just wanted to switch my chart there. And basically what happened was, using Sierra charts, I was able to learn a lot about various ways to look at a footprint chart. And because the thing about Sierra chart is that you can display the thing in any way you want. You can view it in a pointing figure, in a range chart. You can display deltas on your chart. You can display the DOM on your chart. You can display, you know, delta, balance, imbalance on your chart. You can display so much different data on that one chart. So like you start to get a feel for what is overkill and what you need and what is overkill. So after using Sierra charts for a few months, I was able to say, okay, I don't need Sierra charts anymore. I can rely on Jigsaw for a basic footprint chart, because that footprint chart has exactly everything I need. And that's it. So those are my thoughts. Can you put your camera image lower left? I already did it. What's your favorite resource for trading with volume profile, education-wise? I would say watch some videos about auction market theory just to get a basic idea. That one video that was made by Verneman, that's a really good video. He explains it well. What was I gonna say? Volume profile is really helpful. But in terms of resources, I don't know, you can check out Axia. Axia has some good courses there. And, you know, talk to traders that use it. Talk to traders that are experienced in using market profile, volume profile, and get their views on it, you know? Don't just use one resource, you want to use multiple resources. Because remember, you're in an environment where everybody sees the same thing. So you definitely want to get a picture of, like, you know, what traders are using. Talk with traders that have been in the game for a while. Vlad, I learned you can call people on Discord like Skype does. Yeah, man. No problem, Etienne. Diana, is Russell a buy next week? Hey, you know, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Russell 2000 here. So, I don't know why all my charts switched to a Renko chart, but okay, so let's go ahead and look at the Russell 2000 here relative to other indices, and as you can see, guys, I have a million lines on my chart here. Let me just kind of clean it up a little. That's something I'm trying to do as well. So what we're gonna do is remove a lot of these lines, because these are a lot of like 30-minute zones that I had going last week and then the previous weeks here. So I'm actually gonna get rid of all of these. I'm actually gonna get rid of that VWAP and get rid of this. Okay, so Russell in the daily chart, you can clearly see that it's in a trading range. So on the daily chart, I would say there's nothing indicating to buy this at all. In fact, it's bearish. So like that's what you can get out of just looking at this. However, there's other pieces of the puzzle that you need to put in. For example, we just came out of the end of the quarter, and end of quarter, there's often rebalancing that happens in portfolio managers stuff. So what we saw, and I heard Steve Sosnick talking about this. He's the strategist at Interactive Brokers. I heard him talking about something about the Russell rebalancing. So that might have to do with this massive drop we saw yesterday in the last 2 days here. So is Russell a buy? No, I would say it's not a buy right now. We are trading right into the center of a range, basically. And if you look at this profile, you can see there's a low volume area here. So under 227, I would say don't keep a long bias there, okay? Because looking at the shape of this profile, it does look like we can come down and trade to the lower end of this range at this point. It's kind of what it's indicating, but we'll have to see what the price action looks like next week. Bulent, hi Chris, are you also trading individual NASDAQ stocks? Is the dome suitable for that? I don't trade individual NASDAQ stocks personally. I have in the past, but I don't right now. The dome is suitable for that, absolutely. As long as the stock you're trading has a relatively tight bid and offer spread, then the dome will be fine. The thing is, if you're trading a stock that has a very wide bid and offer spread, it's going to be very hard to use a dome to trade. For example, Tesla. I don't really watch it personally, but I can already tell by looking at it that the spread between the bid and the offer is probably like 10-15 cents at times, and it moves around a lot, especially if the market gets thin. So for a stock like that, I would say it's not suitable. So you kind of have to play. You have to play with it, right? You have to find what works and what doesn't. Granite says, I'm going all in on UTME. KEKW. I don't know what that is, but sure. UTME. ME. Oh goodness me, sir. I don't know, man. I'm feeling gambling vibes from you. I don't know anything about the fundamentals. In fact, I'm not a fundamental analyst at all. But looking at this chart, I can see that on this day, the market dropped a lot from $75 down to $18, give or take. So what we're seeing now is a lot of volume traded around this price here, $18. Now it could be a number of things. It could be shorts covering. It could be buyers. It could be sellers getting liquidated out of their positions, getting met with, you know, passive buyers, insider buyers. But, you know, as you can see here, look at the change in the volatility from this day to that day. Okay. You know, short term, you're looking at $16 and about 29 cents. That's your short term sort of support, give or take. And it can go as low as, if you look at the profile here, it can go as low as about 15.80, give or take. Maybe a 5-minute chart will be a slightly better indication there. Yeah, so I can see it there, yeah. Whoops. 1550 to 1550. So that's your demand zone right there on this stock right here. Under that, if you're long, you're trying to catch a bottom. You're trying to catch a falling knife. Above this, maybe it's a good long play. I don't know. In terms of resistance, up there at 19.5. Okay. Whoops. You know what? I love the magnet tool on TradingView. There you go. So, you know, 5-minute, 15-minute. There's sort of your resistance, 1980, 1950. I would look to be a seller in that area. I'd look to be a buyer in this area, 15.5 to 16 quarter. And, you know, that's how I would trade it personally. I like to play ranges. I'm not much of a... I don't like to bet on stuff. I find that's just a low probability. I'm not a gambling type of trader. That's a funny thing to say, because trading is a form of betting, I guess. Unless you're trading with a strong edge. No, it's always a form of betting, gambling. I use market profile on FGBL for futures trading on Zero Chart. Yeah, that's cool. Vlad, I installed Price Squawk yesterday. It becomes like an indicator in NinjaTrader. Gonna try to replace the sounds the way I like today. Yeah, man. Yeah, I use Price Squawk. It's really great. You could, well, I have the paid version, but you can always contact the creator on Twitter. His name is Graham Glover, and you can talk to him about it. And he offers a light license, so you can get the good sounds. If you're tired of the sounds of using the Windows sounds, you can use the better sounds, but you have to pay him for a light license. I would say it's worth it. Do you think the high volume nodes are important or low volume gaps? Absolutely. Absolutely, they're important. Because these areas indicate a lot of things. They give you a lot of information. For example, look at this chart right here. Look at the profile. There's a high volume node towards the lower end of the profile. There's a high volume node towards the upper end of the profile. And then there's smack in the middle where traders are getting all messed up. Okay? So from the perspective of a market maker or a trader who just wants to play the range, call him a market maker, this is where traders are bidding more than they're offering. Call it a demand zone. And you can clearly see that. There's size that was traded here, absorbed on one side. And that creates a high volume node. So that's why I call this a demand zone. It absolutely matters a lot. Now, for markets that move around more, there's different things like little nuances that play into that. Like a high volume node, another way of calling a high volume node is a liquidity pool, or an area where there's trades that occurred and the market moved away from that. Now, what I like to watch in my trading is what the market is doing when it's approaching that liquidity pool. So I'm always thinking of what are the odds that we're gonna run straight through the high volume node, or are we gonna run straight to the high volume node and bounce right off of it, okay? Bounce right off the liquidity pool or run straight through the liquidity pool, excuse me. So these high volume nodes absolutely make a big difference for my trading, at least. And the other thing you said is low volume gaps. Yes, that's another way of saying that is a single print. So like, this is a very important nuance that I use. And basically what it indicates is an imbalance in the market. It indicates when the market is imbalanced in one direction and there's way more supply than demand, or way more demand than supply, and the market moves violently in one direction and it leaves what is called a gap or a single print. Basically a completely empty space in the profile. And that's an important nuance. So especially on trend days, if you look at trend days in particular, now let me just switch back over to NASDAQ here. Session volume, take off the lines. All right, 15-minute time frame, give or take. All right, so look at this movement right here. The market is going straight up, and if you look at the session profile, there's an empty spot right there. When you see, sorry, I'm getting distracted reading your guys' comments. I have to focus on the one that I'm talking about. So when you see empty spots in the profile and the market's moving up, that indicates that the market is strong moving up. And when it's leaving a lot of these things, it means it's really strong. So like, look at this. The market was valued here at this moment here around 900. Single print up right off the open, straight through this liquidity. And now it's trying to find value. It's trying to find two-way volume. So it goes higher until it finds some. Now I look at the profile right here. That's the area where we have the most volume traded. That's our new reference for value. In the case of this day, it just continued higher. Again, left another single print and searched for value again higher. Value again higher here. So, and then on the way back on this test, the market came back close to this single print, and this area acted as a form of support in this case. So, you know, single prints, they're just good nuances that basically give you an idea of which way the market's going and where the last strong move occurred in the market. So it helps you stay out of trouble. But again, you can talk to a lot of different traders about it and they're going to give you different answers. All right, let's keep going. I need water. You got visual traders and audio helps too. Have you heard of Algo Box by Vinny? Nope, have not. Ticker TTE, mean total energy in French on the CAC 40 market. Is it a buy? Because it's an income investing in France. TTE, let's check it out. TTE. Total energies, trades on the Euronext Paris exchange. I think that's the one he's talking about. So let's go ahead and look at the daily chart. And I'm just going to get some water. You guys type away in the chat, all right? All right. So it's an income investment stock, as he says. It pays a dividend of 66 cents, so I can tell this is somewhat of a dividend stock here. The daily chart seems like we are in somewhat of a trading range here. If I zoom out a little more, it kind of reminds me a bit of those real estate trusts that I'm buying. to be honest, if this is a longer term hold, I don't think technical analysis should really be an issue for you. I think you definitely want to focus on looking at their balance sheet and seeing what they're doing. So that's going to be fundamental analysis. And I'm not a fundamental analyst. I can't advise you on what to do, but if you do plan to buy and hold something for a long time, you want to get an idea of what this company is doing. That's just it, right? But technical analysis here, I'll give you a bit of analysis. Take off the session profiles. Daily chart, it's bearish from that area right there. It's bearish from 40 and 77. It's bullish from 38.2. And it's also bullish from 37, give or take. So if you were trying to buy it, I'd be trying to buy it here, and I'd be trying to buy it here. And I'd be trying to buy it here, down at 34.89. So something, I like the idea of buying and holding stuff, but you have to trust the company. That's why, like, I buy and hold real estate trusts. That's all I buy and hold right now. So like, it's kind of a stress-free way of investing, because you know that, you know, real estate is hot right now, especially in Canada. And if you're buying companies that have large portfolios of real estate and that have a lot of cash on hand, there's a high probability that these guys are gonna make a lot of money soon, or that will continue making money. That's what I mean. So the stress-free thing is that you can just put limit orders in and just keep buying it, right? So if you buy it, it goes up. All right, great, buy more. If you buy it, it goes down. Great, buy more. So it's really a stress-free thing. So there's your kind of resistance, and these are areas you'd probably look to place some bids, where I would place some bids, that is. And if it goes lower than that, probably I would stop buying it until it gives me a sign that it's bullish again. All right, where are we at here? Vlad, I think so too. Seems important to hear the tape change. Yeah, absolutely, man. A big important nuance if you're short-term trading. Pariah's Gate says, would you recommend me to use my broker's chart or TradingView's chart? I don't know what you're doing, man. It really depends on what you're doing. I only use TradingView charts for market context. I don't use them to look at the real-time trading, because you don't see the real-time trading on this TradingView chart. The data is actually not super fast updating. You don't see every tick. You're getting an update about every second or two, which is not ideal for short-term trading. But if you just need to see the market context, then in my opinion, the TradingView chart is fine. Vlad, so I will try drums and clicks. Yeah, man. Professor Dave, I blew my account. Need help? I'm sorry to hear that, sir. That's part of trading, unfortunately. Vlad, they buried RTY and YM a bit too much this week. I can help you blow up another account. What did you blow up on? Stop it, guys. Okay, yeah. Again, I was talking about the Russell before. I heard something about the Russell being rebalanced, and I think that might have to do with the reason why it sold off a lot. Again, daily chart doesn't indicate any kind of buy just right now. Tesla, you shorted Tesla. Okay, Vlad, this is real trading now because option quad witching. Yeah, it was damn bullish on expiry day. You got to be nimble and change on the spot. Yeah, I'm just reading your conversations, guys. I tried to buy puts and it was just a pullback, lost around 300 bucks. Main problem I noticed late was psychology and size. Okay. Okay, Professor, Mr. Professor. Okay, this is, again, I have a few videos on this, but there's a lot of things in over time of trading that you're going to learn that are not really, they're not necessarily rules that you got to follow, but they're things that will keep you out of trouble. They're meant to keep you out of trouble. One thing is having a plan and following it, right? So if you decide to short it, whatever your reasons are, you need to have a plan, all right? What are you shorting it based on, right? That's called your playbook, right? Your setup. And then how are you expecting this trade to behave? That's part of the setup as well. That's part of the playbook. And then what's your entry and exit plan? Like, what's your plan in this trade? Are you willing to add more? Is it the type of trade you're going to add more to? Or is it the type of trade that you're all in at this spot, and then if it goes above that, then you're stopped out for a small loss type of thing, right? So again, all of these things, it comes with experience. And in my opinion, it's the most important thing is to have a plan, because you never want to be in a spot where you're at the discretion of the market. I've been in that spot and it's really bad. And in my opinion, I think traders, a lot of traders who are new to trading, they learn it the hard way, because they learn that the market doesn't care about them. It's a gut-wrenching thing. You know, the market really doesn't care about you. And in your head, you're going to start to make up stories about how the market, is against you or whatever. The market does not give a shit about you. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't discriminate against anybody. And if you don't manage your risk, then that's your own problem. And the market's going to punish you for that. So you want to go in with a plan all the time. So stick to your plan, man. Stick to your risk. Trading is a business of managing risk, not making large profits. And that's the problem of the internet these days, is you get ads on my videos. If you watch one of my videos, you're going to see an ad from one of these guys saying, stop everything you're doing, click on this link and you're going to make $5,000. And then you wonder why so many traders are making dumbass decisions. That's just how it is. So write down what happened, write down what you can improve on, what can you learn from what happened, and that's it. Use it as a learning experience. Alrighty, if you think you only one who tilted this week, you aren't alone. Yeah, Vlad, that's true what you said, because the last couple of weeks I noticed a lot of traders. I follow a few traders on Twitter, and they're all kind of saying the same thing. The market's kind of slow, and then when it gets volatile, it's just too volatile. It has not been in the sweet spot. At least for me, it hasn't been in the sweet spot. So what I do in that case is I just trade less. I just chill out. I manage my risk. And as I showed you guys my June trading, I'm really not trading much, and I'm just basically grinding, right? So next week, maybe we'll get some decent volatility. When the volatility is there, I'm going to make sure that I'm there to trade it, because if I'm not there to trade it, that's an opportunity cost, right? So I show up every day with the same goal, right? With the same playbook setups that I always look for. And my goal is to trade it for what it is right there in that moment, And I trade my plan, and I manage my risk. All right, guys, what's going on? Hope you guys are doing great today. This is a live stream here, and we're just chilling out, chatting around. So we got a couple of screens going on. If you want to see the camera, yo, yo, yo. We also got a circle, and we can go to the screen. They do weekly options that expire and they lose premium a lot last day of the week, so it makes sense to blow up Tesla trading Tesla the wrong way. Yeah, man, short-term options are really friggin' an easy way to blow an account. A very, very easy way to blow an account is trading short-term options. I've done it. That's how I know. Because they have this plan to make 200, 400 a trade, but they look whole option. They lose the whole option, yeah. It's again the way I view short-term options is like a game of hot potato. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Vlad. Trading short-term options is a game of hot potato, because the things are like they're getting the dollars siphoned out of them by the minute. They're losing dollars by the minute, those contracts. So what you want to do is you want to wait, maybe put your bid in at a price, get filled on some kind of stop run, then it rebids, you're in profit 20, 30, 50 bucks, depending on how volatile these contracts are. You will be profiting $40 sometimes in a second or 30 seconds per contract. And then you want to get out, right? You want to pass it on to the next guy. You don't want to hold on to that thing. because it's a hot potato and it's losing dollars every second. That's how you got to play short-term options. TradingView has good studies and custom ones, so 5-minute is fine, just like Thinkorswim, which lags, and TradingView is web-based. I like TradingView. It's one of my favorite charting platforms. Their volume profiles are not 100% accurate all the time, but they're very much in the ballpark. I don't know why I'm looking at a Tesla daily chart. I never even trade Tesla. What about this, guys? What do you think of that? I saw this chart and I was like, yeah, boy, cash is king. Let's get it. DXY, motherfucker, let's get it. I'm over leveraged on US dollars. That's my favorite chart, actually, of the whole week. So, Vlad, I guess it's just me and you, man. Market doesn't care if you put your stop loss below and you get stopped out and it flips right back up or down to your target and travels 200 to 400 points without you. All right. You're going a little overboard there. That's like such hindsight, man. That's such hindsight, and that's such a problem traders have. Is that they scalp the market, right? They have a plan to scalp the market, right? My playbook is, you know, I'm scalping on the bid and I'm selling on the offer. Whatever. Let's say I'm doing that, okay? I buy it at 89 and I sell it at 94. All right, that was my trade. Now I come back an hour later and the market's at 200. A new trader is gonna say, fuck, why didn't I hold it, man? I could have made 100 points. But was that part of your plan? No, it wasn't. You were trying to scalp it, man, bro. So stop trying to say, oh, I missed a 100-point move when your plan was to scalp the fucking market. All right? And that's just something that comes with experience. Get the guitar out and jam on Sultan to Swing. Yeah, I might do that. If no one keeps asking any questions here. Ian Roberts, do you think this is a full reversal? I don't know. I don't know anything. That's what every technical analysis course should ever. That's the first thing they should all say. If I would make a course, that's the first thing I would say. I would say, I don't know anything. However, these are things that have helped me stay out of trouble in my career or whatever. A, B, C, D. All right. So I don't know if this is a full reversal. What I do know is that this is a strong move up on the daily chart. All right. And maybe we can look at the DX futures to get a decent idea, because you can see volume profile on that. I mean, this was a reaction to the Fed, right? As we've seen risk off in stocks, risk off in crypto, give or take. Even gold metals sold off as well, which is something that I guess surprised a lot of traders. There was one guy talking about how he was long gold before the FOMC. In my opinion, you're doing nothing other than gambling, doing that kind of shit. You don't know if it's gonna go up or down. You don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? So stop thinking you know something, because you don't. Nobody knows anything. Unless you're Goldman Sachs, who has the ability to buy or sell, 10,000 contracts with the press of a button. I always picture the big red button and they can just buy or sell as many as they want. The infinite money glitch, right? Unless you're that guy, then you don't know what the hell is gonna happen. All right? So stop thinking you know, because you don't. That's my rant. All right, so the DXY is going up. 30-minute battle zone right there. 92.31. If you wanted to buy it, it would be bid here, maybe 91.90. I do feel like if we get back here, there could be a bit of a flush down, maybe to this single print area. This is an outdated level here. This seems like a reasonable area to start scaling in long. If you saw a flush down to this area, this seems like a reasonable area to scale into a long here on the dollar. And speaking of the dollar, you know, I don't know if you guys know, but there's a small US dollar contract which trades on the small exchange, and I might start trading it eventually, because that's the only way to trade the US dollar with a relatively small exposure. All right, unless you're going to trade this DX here, unless you trade the euro, that's another way, trading the euro or the euro micros. But the thing about the euro is that it's not the dollar. It's the euro against the dollar is not the dollar. You know what I'm saying? It's really close. It's probably like a 90% correlation, but it's not the dollar, right? What's going on, guys? Yeah, I hate hindsight. It's toxic. You won't sleep because you missed something like a big short. My plan can be a month away with an option play, for example, gives me more wiggle room. Rather than watching this crazy market all day, what seemed to be not very productive and volatility flipping up down. Mateus, joined a bit late here though. What's your advice for a beginner option trader? This is always a tough question. Focus on risk management. That should be the advice for every trader ever. Stop focusing on profits. Focus on risk control. Focus on ways that you can learn how to read the market objectively for what it is, and start watching the market, and look at what kind of trades are working now, and say, okay, on average, this type of trade is working right now, so I'm gonna trade this now. Don't get married to that idea either, because the next day or the next week probably it won't work anymore. That's why you gotta really start to get an idea of like what works on what type of day. Remember, options are derivative products. So you have to see what are they derived from. They're derived from underlying assets. So it's the underlying assets that you want to be watching. The options is just a way of trading it. Another thing to be careful with options is options often have much lower liquidity than the underlying stock or the futures contracts. So definitely you want to be careful with that. You want to be careful using stop limit orders with tight offsets. I've been in that situation a lot of times where my order gets skipped right through. You don't want to be in that position, trust me. Definitely trade the most liquidly traded options, and that's if you're day trading. Again, if you're day trading options, you want to trade the most liquidly traded options only. You don't want to be messing around with contracts that have these wide bid and offer spreads and contracts that are not trading a lot of volume. Yep. Think about the risk, not the reward. Think about the risk relative to the reward. I know a lot of swing traders, but only in uptrending markets. Don't use stop losses and only use DCAs for longer plays, a few weeks to a few months. Thoughts? Yeah, for sure. That's a strategy. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, again, I'm a believer in if it works, it works. Keep doing it. If it works, it works. However, if you're doing something that is statistically not good, then there's a problem, right? So just do what works and stick to doing what's working. So if you're making money doing something, continue to do that. Unless it's whatever. just do what works. How about that? Swing trading is perfectly fine. A lot of people do that. Lately, people have been saying GS was stockpiling cash. Makes sense if we do a dip. I would watch what BlackRock is doing. Saved us on March 2020 dip. BlackRock, yeah. I would say watch market cycles. Ask Slim has good tutorials for option projective plays longer term. Yeah, see, there you go. Check him out. I don't know. Tastyworks is also recommended as a good starting platform for options. Yes. Some say look at volume, open interest, and it becomes magnet. That's interesting. Yeah, on expiry days, I like to look at that as well. Leverage is big. Do you know Warrior Trading? Is he a legit trader for you? I don't know, but I've heard a lot of things about it. I, I've heard a lot about Warrior Trading, about how he has this chat room with like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of traders in there, and they're all following the chat room alert. And I mean, I imagine he's already long before he says that he's long. So you get all these small orders coming in to pump up the price. You got buy market orders, and what happens, again, if you guys don't know this, when a buy market order hits, it's like the algorithm. You're basically paying a market maker every time you use a market order. But what happens is if you get many market orders at once, that can cause the market to move very violently, because if you got a bunch of market makers at once that are offered, and then their offers just all get lifted at once, well, these market makers are going to be offside, and they need to go in and hedge themselves somehow. So they're going to have to buy more stock, or they're going to have to do something to hedge. And this Warrior guy, I mean, he's probably already long before he announces it. So what he's doing is on the way up, as it's pumping in his favor, he's probably taking some off. And then when the thing is euphoria, full-time euphoria, he just dumps them. He dumps them all at once. I mean, that's how I would do it if I was running a chat room with 1,000 traders. I don't know. And the question is that legal? I think it's legal to do that, yeah. Is it right? Probably not. Is it manipulation? Probably, yeah. Options are more complex than stocks. Yes, sir. How long have you been in trading? So I wrote a little bio. I don't know if you guys can see it in the description. I've been trading since 2018, the third quarter of 2018. He sells trading courses for 8. LOL. Yeah, that's what it's all about. $8 a pop, right? Let's see what we got going on here. So I mean, you guys ask me stuff about whatever the hell you want, you know? Or else I'm just gonna start jamming here. $8K, holy crap, dude, that's a lot of money for a fucking course. There's someone that said is American Resources, AREC. AREC. NASDAQ. Is it a buy? I feel like one of those guys, you know when you watch that Bloomberg television and you got those people calling in and the guy says, he's like an old man, probably like in his 60s, and say, oh, I've been buying this stock. What do you think of this? Is it a buy or is it a sell? I don't know. All right. Well, daily chart is bearish. All right. It's going down. It's going down. It's not a buy. On this daily chart is not a buy. Technically. Technical. I don't know what their fundamentals look like. The daily chart is not a buy. All right. Let's zoom in a little. 30-minute chart. Supplied from $2.65. Supply zone. It's not a buy. Unfortunately, it's not a buy, I gotta say. If it got back above 265 and held it on a backtick, then it might be a buy. Because then you might get a test of these 270s, 280s. And again, I'm speaking short term here. I mean, this is always a bad sign when you see these kinds of massive squeezes and then a slow fade to death like that. And I'm just gonna take that off my ears. You know, you could buy it and hope for a squeeze like that, but you'd be hoping. And I personally don't like to put myself in those types of situations where I'm hoping for something to happen. It just feels irrational. It just doesn't feel good. Maybe you like this company for the long term. In that case, buy it. Who gets involved? How price sustains in the end? It's about fear and greed. Selling together or selling before another guy. Betrayal. Do you trade indices as the DAX, Dow, and FTSE 100? I trade the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell. Mostly the NAS and the Russell. I don't really trade the S&P much. But when the NAS gets too volatile, I like to move over to the S&P. Because then it starts to behave more like the NASDAQ, you know? Do you have an in-depth video of how you like to set up your hotkeys on Interactive Brokers? If you still use Interactive Brokers, I've seen a few of your videos in the past. I do have videos on that. I mean, I thought I made a video called how to use hotkeys in Interactive Brokers. Also, there's a video called Best Hotkeys or something. However, right now in my trading, the only hotkeys I use are as follows. Cancel orders, number 1. Cancel all my orders. Number 2, scratch my position or flatten my position completely. And number 3 would be if I had to change my size, which I don't do. I don't really change my size around. So the way I trade now is I use the mouse to do 95% of everything. So if you guys watch my videos, I'm basically clicking on the depth of market, to place orders and to move orders. And for that matter, scratching the trade, I can also do it with the mouse. Because let's say, for example, I'm going to try and give you an example here. Here, look at this dome right here, okay? Oh wait, sorry, you're on the wrong screen. There we go. Look at this dome right here. Okay, let's say I'm bid at 15. I don't use this to trade, but I'm just giving you an example with it. Let's say I'm bid at 15. I bought it at 15. And now I have a stop order down here somewhere, and I have a limit order somewhere up here. And I want to get out right now. On my platform Jigsaw, all I need to do is do one click right here. One click, boom, on any price, and it will move either my stop or my limit to that price. So one click basically. So if the price is 14,018 and I click underneath it, it's going to move the stop order. If I click above where the price is, it's going to move the limit order. And the opposite would be if I was short. Okay? So I don't use really that many hotkeys to trade. The only hotkeys are cancel and flatten the trade. Oh yeah, and I use hotkeys to clear my depth of market orders off of the book. So in the platform I use, it shows all the trades that occurred at every price. So after a while it starts to get too confusing, I clear them out. So I clear it below and I clear it above the price. So I use those as hotkeys as well. And I use another hotkey to recenter the DOM. So actually I do use a couple of hotkeys, yeah. And those are hotkeys on Jigsaw, not interactive brokers. Jim Cramer is the worst to explain you anything. Bear stems, great stock, buy it on 40% dip. It's fine. Bear Stearns disappears a week later from this planet. Yeah, don't believe anything people say, man. Don't believe anything you hear on YouTube. Don't believe anything you watch on TV. Do your own due diligence all the time. Do your own analysis. On BTC, as you might have seen, many people have been talking about Wyckoff. What is the logic of market makers making a massive markdown on an asset? Okay. What I can tell you is this: these assets here, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, and all these other cryptos here, there's not a lot of liquidity at each price. They're kind of thin, okay? You call that a thin market. So what can happen in these types of markets, as many of you have noticed, is that if there is a news reaction of any kind, it causes all of the liquidity, which already there's not a lot of liquidity, it causes all the liquidity to pull away, which can cause these chain reactions of orders to trigger, and the market will not find any liquidity for many prices. And that's how you can get these insane drops, like in Ethereum and in Bitcoin, where the thing can drop multiple thousands of dollars, or in Ethereum, same thing. It was one day it dropped, 2,000 points or something. Like, look at this day right here. The high of the day is 3,445, and the low of the day is 1,619. The only way that can happen is if really nobody and their grandma wants to buy it. There's nobody willing to buy it. There's no bids, and it causes a massive wash sell. So like that's kind of the reason why I try to stay away from crypto mostly, because of those types of things. And again, I don't really know if you can use stop losses and whatever. You guys tell me, if you guys trade crypto, can you use a stop? And does your stop get respected, or is there like massive slippage and stuff? So the massive markdowns you're talking about, Ian, are due to the fact of liquidity pulling away. When all liquidity pulls out all at once. Like for example, the Fed announcement this week, 2 p.m. I was at the mechanic, I look at my phone, NASDAQ dropped 100 points in a second, probably, in 5 seconds. What that's called is everybody pulls their liquidity at once. And by everybody, I mean every market maker that's employed to provide liquidity. All right. Ticker LVMH. Should I sell my 25 shares? Is it on the Milan exchange or on the Euronext? Probably the same, no? Yeah, it's the same. I would say don't sell. Look at this daily chart. Look at this beautiful, beautiful daily chart. It's just going up every day. Just ride it up, man. Buy more. Just buy more, bro. Look at this. Look at this daily chart. You can buy it here. If it gets, I would have a bid here at 656.6. I would have a bid there. I would have a bid here at 663. If you want to zoom in a little more. I mean, there's the liquidity. Let me try and find the chart that has more liquidity. Yeah, this one's better. Yeah, I don't know. Look at these big orders here. It's just weird. When you see a volume profile that looks like that, it looks always weird. Okay, let's do that again. Daily chart. I would buy it here. I would buy it here. And I would buy it here. See? So that would be my strategy. I would have a bid here, I would have a bid here, and I would have a bid here if you wanted to be more aggressive. Yeah. 30-minute chart. See if you get any. Nah, there's no session volume there. If you want it to be more aggressive, I would have a bid here too. I mean, you can call this somewhat of a buy climax. That's the only thing I'm seeing here that's a red flag right now. Is this which kind of looks like a buy climax, where you see a huge move up followed by a huge move down like that, like a buy climax basically. That's the only red flag here, but I would still be looking to bid this thing here because the daily chart is bullish. I would say that one's a little too aggressive though. When market goes down, I'm going to play the Doom Eternal soundtrack. The only thing they fear is you on price squawk hitting 100 lots. Copy that. That's pretty slick. Cool, man. Would you consider trading for a firm? Also, what's your thoughts on getting a mentor and becoming a better trader? A lot of people seem to be self-taught. Wobble. Will that be enough in the long run? Yeah, great questions, man. So would you consider trading for a firm? I would say no. Me personally, no. What's your thoughts on getting a mentor? Yes, absolutely. I would absolutely say mentors are an amazing thing. I know I've had the chance of talking with a number of guys who have helped me a lot in my trading journey to get better and to kind of explore a lot of things that I was having problems with towards the beginning of my career and even recently, the last 6 to 12 months. So yeah, definitely getting a mentor is something really good. I highly recommend that. Just talk with experienced traders. Talk with guys that are doing what you want to do. I think inside print on Jigsaw is really cool. Yeah, it is really cool. I agree. Papa Dogecoin, Elon Musk, don't believe him to buy anything. Nah, man, just buy the Dogecoin, man. Come on. Are you serious? Just buy the Dogecoin. I don't even know who made this watch list. There we go. 29. But never mind. Don't buy Dogecoin. Forget I said that. Don't buy it. There's a support down here at 27 though. You see it? Give or take. I would buy it at 27 cents. But under that, not really. Under that, I would not buy it. Unless it was at 13 cents. I literally remember looking at the footprint chart on Dogecoin and I said 13 is a good area for a bounce. What did it do? It bounced right off of that shit. And then it skywall. It bid it slowly and then the move started later. But yeah. Dogecoin, gosh darn it. Favorite research platform, we quite stream. I don't know. I don't know really. I don't really do research. You mean like fundamental research? Yeah, I don't really do that too much because I don't really buy and hold stocks. But you know, you can see a lot on Yahoo Finance if you're looking at like basic balance sheets and stuff. But if you have to research individual companies and whatnot, I would say go directly to the company, go directly to the website. You know, get the company on the phone and talk with them. I don't know. But I don't really know many research platforms. A lot of people follow Elon Musk just because his tweets had initial impact, like Wall Street bets, but that was when people were looking to put their capital to use and maybe not going to work second time when BT. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're right, Vlad. Quote stream. I don't know what that is. Stops are respected. Okay. That's funny. Two of you said something different. Ian said the stops are respected, and then Vlad said the stop is going to slip for sure. Well, I imagine the stop's going to slip a lot if the spreads are kind of wide. On Sunday night action, liquidations, yeah, into some next level and see if they smash through that stairs. Initial bounce always best if you can, or trend that kind of rug pull with big account. All right, man. However, Euronext, a shooting star on volume. I'm just reading chat, guys. A shooting star on volume. Anton says, where can I get real-time market data for free, or at least historical tick data for futures? You can't get real-time tick data for free, dude. You can't get real-time data for free. You just can't. It doesn't exist. I mean, maybe it exists on some platform, but you need to probably open an account with a broker to get it for free. But you can't get real-time data for free, generally speaking, and you can't get good data for free. That's a fact. Historical tick data for yeah, same thing. You can't get it for free. You gotta pay to the exchange, and trust me, the exchange, they're not very generous. They're cheap motherfuckers, man. They if you have two accounts, they're gonna make you pay the exchange data for both of them. Even if it's anyways, it's a bank. Dump it. Warren Buffett indicator says we're in a mega bubble. Dump it all. Talk with Korean traders. They definitely trade against trades by Matt, but you need to know Korean. Large pocket money can buy a little. Vlad, you should have your own comedy show, man. This is hilarious. Well, look. If you read the chapter in that book, what was it? Wall Street Wizards, Market Wizards. There was a chapter about the trader that was a broker, that he had some pretty big clients, some pretty big traders as clients, and he would see that when some of the traders were hot, right, when they were kind of killing it for a while, when they were crushing it, and he would kind of trade with them on some trades. He would take a bit, right? If he saw a guy that's been crushing it for 2 weeks and he bought a 200 lot on the S&Ps, he would follow him. He'd grab 20, you know, or something like that. And the opposite of that would be if you see a trader who's consistently losing, you just fade him, right? Like trades by Matt. I don't know. Sometimes you watch the guy and he's fucking trying to short a market that's going straight up. Nothing against the guy, but that's an easy way to lose money. So what you do is you fade him, right? If you see he's losing money consistently, fade the hell out of the trader, man. Fade him. Take the opposite end of his trades. And if he's holding that, on top of that, that's another thing. If he's short and he's holding it and it's going up, just look to bid. Just place your bids, man. Just place your bids. And the opposite is, if he's bag holding and he's long, place your offers, man. Place your offers in the market and wait to get filled. Thoughts on Ethereum? All right, let's take a look. Similar to Bitcoin, it's in a trading range on the daily chart. It's actually weaker than Bitcoin. So that's something to note about. a lot of traders forget to look at that, is that they look at their one market, but they forget to realize that this is a market that has correlations too. So if you're trading Ethereum, you want to be looking at Bitcoin. You also want to look at the correlation that it has to other asset classes. For a while, there was a correlation between the broad market and the cryptos as well. Now, I would say that correlation is not as strong. So ETH and BTC there, you can see, and look at the Doge as well, right? There's another watch list I have here. Hold on, let's see. And they're all moving now. Anyhow. So, you know, Ethereum's bearish on the daily time frame right now. Look at the daily chart. It's offered from this zone. It's one time framing down on the daily chart. What I mean by that is it's closing lower every day in a row now, which is why it's bearish. It's bearish on the daily chart right here. If it can get above 25,000 again, sorry, 2,500, then you might consider being bull bias for a bit of a short squeeze. Zoom in a bit, 30-minute chart. Let's look at the volume profile. Okay, 30-minute chart is actually a little bit bullish. More than a little bullish, actually. So it's recently been demanded from 2168. That's our demand zone currently. So it's bullish off of that right now, Ethereum. Bit of a single print, low volume area between these two pivots here. So I think over the weekend there's a chance we just stay here. So that's the pivot I'm seeing, give or take. So supply zone right here, 2316 to 2339, give or take. That's sort of your supply zone, short term. Demand zone down at 2168, and right now we're kind of smack in the middle of this. You can kind of extend the demand zone a little. Oh, whoops. You can extend the demand zone a little lower, a little higher. I mean. So if I would be looking to buy it here. I'd be looking to bid here. I'd be looking to bid here. And if it moved up very fast, I'd be looking to sell it in this area and keep a profit target in the middle of the range. That's how I look to trade personally. I never knew what Doge had in mind when it crossed 15 plus. Do you have any favorite traders? That's a good question. One of my favorite traders is one guy who taught me a lot about market profile and about various nuances of scalping on the futures. His name is eMiniOS on Twitter. He's probably my favorite trader. One trader I recently discovered, check him out on YouTube. It's the PAX Group. And this guy used to be a floor trader on the NASDAQ pit, and he tells a lot of interesting stories of that. So definitely check him out. He makes some good videos. He trades opening range only. Very interesting videos to watch. I really enjoyed those. Haha, big 10 to 4. I don't know that. I don't know what that is. Apparently it was going for a full moon at 75. Amazing run it did. Yeah. I got some real-time data, but I will be limited by time or by instrument. Anything tradable will need to pay. Yep. If you load 20K into Thinkorswim, you get free real-time data. Yeah. Yeah, that's like the same fucking advertisement that they say if you deposit 100,000 in the bank and you get $100. It's the same shit. You still have to deposit all that money. It's a liability because you need to have that cash in the account. That's the liability. Let's see what's going on here. Or he trades on micro. And by the way, Thinkorswim data, yeesh, really not the best quality data. You guys got to check out DTN, man. That's the top. Or he trades on micros to correct his trading, or saying losing is just for views when he takes on 3 NASDAQ. Yeah.
A lot of people will try to say they know how to trade, but really they just got unlucky gambling streak because the market kept rallying off the March lows. Yeah, that's true, man. For almost a darn year without major corrections. Yep. Pretty crazy. Thoughts on Elliott wave theory? I don't know. I never used it, man. Sorry, I can't help you there. I've heard of S&P Capital. Yep. In the US, I believe it's 2K. The last time for TWS, but data is not real time the way it needs to be. Yeah, it's pretty crap data. Grub. Alright, let's get it. We're getting some tickers. JustEatTakeaway.com. I like eating. The music is really soft. Ouch. This is a pretty ugly chart, dude. Is this the right chart? Grub. Yeah. That's the right chart. Ouch. This is an ugly chart, guys. I mean, okay, I'm going to look at the most recent activity here. This is what I see. Most recent activity on Grubhub. Trading range. I don't see much volume history here. You probably need DTN to see it, though. And I don't work for DTN. I really don't. I wish I had DTN data, though, for free. But it's very expensive. That's your resistance, 1860 zone. Daily chart is bearish. I gotta tell you, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4 days with lower lows in a row here. You know, $18. Also, somewhat of a resistance that could, you know, a daily pivot zone. Let's keep going here. 2-hour chart. One time framing down. 30-minute chart. This is the demand zone you have in the short term, 1750. Above that, you might consider a long if it can hold it. Again, larger perspective is bearish here. Every day in a row, we've been seeing lower lows. So on a daily time frame for a swing trade long, I would say really just don't do it. I mean, unless you're buying it for fundamentals. Again, this is only technicals here. Only technicals. Full disclosure, not fundamental analysis. But it's bearish on the daily, and on the 30-minute, it could be bullish above 1750. Up to 1786, give or take. But overall, you see how not clear the data is here? Like, I don't like that. I don't like looking at a chart where the data is like that. Wobble has free level 2 data without depositing any amount. That's good to know. But now what I'd like to know about that data is that level 2 data from all of the exchanges, right? So for example, if you're looking at Apple stock, are you seeing level 2 depth from NASDAQ market makers, from New York Stock Exchange market makers, and from the NYSE American market makers? Are you seeing all the market makers, all the depth? If you're seeing all the depth, then good. Also, is the data updating real time, and are you seeing tick data, or is it kind of like a 1 time per second data? In that case, sure, I understand why it's free. If you want to see close to real time, Dash Trader, Lightspeed, or IQ Feed? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. IQ Feed, baby. Is Grub a good buy? Unfortunately, no. Thanks, Anton. No problem. How about AMC? All right, let's go. We're getting on the meme train now. AMC. All right, let's start with the daily chart. Again, no haters here. No haters allowed here. There was one guy on YouTube that made a video about AMC prediction or something, and he got a bunch of dislikes on that shit, because I guess people are just euphoric about this shit right now. I don't know. Pretty euphoric. All right, so meme stock, daily chart. I see a liquidity pool here down at 43. I see another liquidity pool around 49.50. But let's zoom in a little. I don't like this. The daily chart is not very clear. 12-hour chart, it looks a little bit cleaner here. Potential demand zone 46.50 there. 12-hour demand zone. 12-hour supply zone 62.50. All right, and look at how we've traded it here. Can't get above it. So I would say a little cautious bullish here unless it gets back above 62.50. 12-hour time frame. Yep, 6-hour looks exactly the same here. So, you know, contextually, don't kill me for saying this, I think it's a decent short above below 62.50 here at this moment. Someone's gonna fucking dislike the video for that. What? It's going to the moon. It's going to 10,000. Fuck you guys. Yeah, that's what I see. I see 62.50 as some form of resistance. 30-minute chart. Yeah, it even lines up on the 30-minute chart. Look at that. 62.15, 62.50 looking like a bit of a supply zone here. High volume node right at 62.80. Short-term demand zone 53.5. So if I shorted it here, and if I shorted it in this zone and I was getting paid, I would look at, this would be my first profit target zone right around here. As it approached the 54 handle, that would be my first profit zone if I was short on it. Okay. Also, this is an inflection point to be watching for next week. 59 evens. 59 evens here. Under that, don't even be long. Don't even be long under 59. This is not trading advice. All right, what do we got? What do we got? What do we got? E-signal with e-signal data. The data cost seems to go up long term. People will pay, especially ones who don't care. Do you mostly just trade futures? And if so, which one? Yeah, I mostly trade NASDAQ and Russell 2000 futures. Those are the markets I trade the most. But mostly, I traded NASDAQ for a long time. I've been trading the Russell more recently. Last week I traded, actually my best trades of this week were on the Russell, no joke. Had some good range plays. Accumulation chart, LOL. IBKR have been causing me issues, so I'm shopping right now. Tools need to work. Yeah. I'm curious, Mr. Redpath, what issues have you been having there? I'm just curious. I just want to know like what people are seeing, what people are talking about, you know. Thank you, brother. No problem, Mohammed. Appreciate that. What about the ES, Captain Axelrod? What about the ES? What do you see for next week? I don't know. Let's take a look. We saw a nice sell-off into the close. Sorry, this is not my right chart here. Let's just, I was originally on NAS on this chart. Yeah. Switch to the ES here. All right, let's look at the daily chart on ES here. All right, daily chart is bearish, guys. I'm just gonna remove session profiles there. I'm gonna remove that VWAP indicator. There we go. Daily demand zone potentially at 123, 41.23. 12. If you extend it, 12-hour demand zone down to 114 quarter. So this is a 12-hour demand zone here. And judging by how fast we've come down here, this could be a good long trade off of this zone, give or take. However, the market's going straight down, so I don't look to buy markets that are going down personally. That's not my style of trading. I look to sell markets that are going down. I look to buy markets that are going up. 2-hour chart close. All the short-term time frames, we basically closed near the lows here on the ES, on the S&P futures. So this is the zone I'd be looking to watch next week here. And below that, I mean, below that, it looks as though there's a liquidity pool here at around 40, 60, 65 is a pretty big liquidity pool right there. So that's an area to watch. And below that, well, there's a big old single print. All this is a single print. So there's a chance we could trade through that, right? So that's kind of where we stand overall on the S&P futures. Just gonna clean up some of these lines here. This 30-minute battle here up at 42.28, that's actually a 30-minute zone as well as a daily zone. It's always interesting when you see 30-minute zones that line up with daily zones. So yeah. Okay, what are we going here? It's a bad data Java platform, makes it lag, and it's probably mostly consolidated. Yep. NASDAQ 15K next week. Yeah, why not? 15K, I don't think so. Now that you said it, I was like, all right, yeah, 6% maybe. Anything's possible, right? I think it's possible, but I don't think enough traders are that bearish on the NASDAQ that it can increase that much in a week, right? I don't know. Again, I don't know. Apes versus suits. Clay trader shorted AMC while scalping and had a bunch of angry comments. Hate how he trades, but still watching it for learning what not to do. Yeah. Yeah, why not? Inefficiencies is what everyone looks for on those meme stocks, both sides. Do you have GME in portfolio? No. It's a funny question to ask. No, I don't. No. Spot Gamma is useful, sometimes explaining option flow on those meme stocks. That's cool, I'll check it out. Big puts rolling in above 60 bucks. AMD. AMD. Bullish on the daily last 2 days here. Demand from 81.5, give or take. Supply zone 85, give or take. That's so 12 hour. See what we got? Yeah, 12 hour, 85 supply zone. Notice how we paused right there. And again, I got that level just by looking at the 12-hour chart, and it just so happens that that's exactly where it paused. You know. So 81.5, 85. That's sort of the range that I'd be looking to play in. I'd be long biased above 85-ish on this. If you zoomed in a little more. Yeah. Let's see 30-minute chart. If you zoomed in a little more, potentially we have some more data to work with here. Yeah, you can get a little bit more. It's a couple of liquidity pools to work with here. 83. This is a type of move here where I would look. So this is how I approach it, right? Daily chart is bullish. That's number one. Next, I determine, so let's say I determine I'm long biased. Now I have to determine where am I going to put my orders to buy it. I would put one right there. I would put another one right here. And the highest one would be here. Right here, 83.77. So I would buy it here, I'd buy it here, I'd buy it here. And sooner or later I'd have a profit. Maybe not. But I'd have a stop probably somewhere here. 81.45, yeah, I'd have a stop here. But I don't think it would get there personally. And again, there's a few nuances that I would look at when it comes to how these orders are filling. And again, it's the same nuances I use for scalping. If we get a quick move down, I will absolutely let it fill. I love getting filled on a quick move. Quick move down, fill my order. Quick move down, fill my order. But if it's coming down and there's a creepy crawly spider, let's say example, creepy crawly spider down to 83.77, creepy crawly, I'll probably pull him out.
right? So that's how I would approach it. Your long bias on the daily chart here, AMD. NOK next. Oh goodness, I hate that. All right, daily chart is bearish here. Offered from 554, give or take. Demanded from $5 and 480. All right. Daily chart's bearish. We're coming into a demand zone. If you're short, good area to get paid. Coming close to it. That's the range. All right. Let's see if the 30-minute says anything. 30-minute intraday zone, 513, 522. These are resistances. If we get back above that, long bias. If it holds above it, that's what I mean, okay? What setting do you have there? Let's see. What setting do you have there on visible range volume indicator? Just switch it to a more reasonable chart. Visible range volume profile. That's my settings. I set it basically to the maximum row size. The colors are, let's see, value area up. It's that color right there. 80% opacity. Point of control. That's about it. All right. Volume total. I don't think looking at anyways, looking at up and down volume on TradingView, it doesn't make a difference because TradingView doesn't have tick data. So you're not getting an accurate representation of if these trades traded on the bid or on the offer. So that's why up-down volume makes no difference. And when it comes to volume profile analysis, I don't really look at up-down volume anyways, unless it's a very thick market. In that case, some of the imbalances make a bigger difference. But yeah, that was a question I had when I was first learning about volume profile. I asked my mentor, what do you think of looking at volume profile and up-down volume? Is that important at all? And he basically told me, no, it's not that important. All you're really concerned with is where the volume was. And then the other nuances are related to how the market is approaching that area, right? And where the market is relative to those areas. AMC is a joke. Let's talk about GME, the most shorted stock in the world. GME, all right. Is GME really? I don't know, man. I don't know what the most shorted stock is, anything. I don't think anybody knows that. Daily chart bearish from 291.50. Give or take. I mean, that's not an exact zone, but that's the zone, give or take. Here's a big high volume node, accumulation zone. Judging on this volume profile, these do look like unfair highs here. It's kind of looking for liquidity lower. So I would say we have a demand zone down here, 145. Again, it's hilarious today. Look at how big that range is. 291.50 down to 145. It's just pretty crazy. So I would say, you know, pretty decent demand zones here on the daily chart. But you can argue that the demand zone actually starts from somewhere here as well. I mean, look at the high volume area, starts right here. It's a little hard to say. It's kind of sloppy. This is a sloppy profile. Would I buy it? No. Would I sell it? No. Would I trade it? No. I gotta get some more water. Hold on, guys. Freaking dying of thirst. 1 second.
Yo. Oh, goodness me. What's going on? Will you look at the last 3 minutes of before the Friday close? On what instrument OS? IBKR is an ancient platform only, minus. Yeah. Hey, Roman, what's happening? Appreciate that, man. Hey, Captain. Chris, I see you shorting uptrends all the time. What do you mean, bro? Nah, man. I have filters for that. I don't mess with that shit. and you know, it depends on the time frame you're trading, right? If you're trading it right now and the market is bid at 82 and it's offered at 88, I can sell it at 88, but I'll be less inclined to sell it if it's been going up all day. I'll be more inclined to try and sell it at 88 if we're right into a supply zone. But you know, so there's other factors involved, right? It's not just like, oh, if you're shorting an uptrend, you're going to be wrong, or if you're trying to buy it in a downtrend, you're going to be wrong. But there's like other factors, you know what I mean? Thanks for the kind words, Roman. How do you trade with POC or VPOC? Is it attractive price for you? That's a good question. And again, I talk about this a lot, and I don't really expect you guys to really understand it. But what a high volume node is, it's a price that traded a lot of volume. It's what you call a price that traded a lot of volume. There's no other way to say it, right? Another way of calling it is a liquidity pool, right? An area where a lot of trades were executed. I look at where the market, basically it's where the market recently perceived value, fair value. So what I often look for when I'm trading short term is I look at how the market is approaching these previous liquidity pools, and sometimes I'll try and take a scalp off of that zone. Other times I'll look for the market to flush right through it. Generally speaking, if you look at 30-minute VPOCs, like session VPOCs and these types of things, they often get flushed through, and then the market will flush through them and get the stops. So like those are things to be careful of. But again, nothing's perfect. Locking out after hours trades for one, missed 30% SNDL one day. Ticker was trading live in front of me and I couldn't get out. That's annoying. Phone line too busy was one issue. That's weird. Why would they do that? Why couldn't you get out? That's so weird. Roman, I have a question for you. Several of them. Uh-oh, here we go. Here we go. Mr. Redpath, locked out of GameStop after I sold $300 the night it doubled. Wouldn't let me reload. Yeah, man. You know, things like that. If you're having problems like that where the broker doesn't let you trade, you gotta probably, you know, maybe change brokers. I don't know. Again, I don't know. Not every broker is right for every client. John Magneta, I use Jigsaw as well, love it. I recently added a stream deck that I have assigned hotkeys. I only have buy and sell market and join bid and offer. Do you use hotkeys? Spot Gamma is great. Yeah, someone asked this question before. Do the hotkeys? What hotkeys do I use? I'll be honest, the majority of my trading is done with a mouse. The only hotkey I use is to cancel orders and to flatten my position in the case of an emergency. But even flattening a position, I can do it with the mouse. And I gave that example earlier. I'm going to try and say it again. I'm repeating myself, but I'll say it just for you, Mr. John. Let's say I bought the market at 17. Okay, I have a stop order somewhere down here. I have a limit profit order somewhere up here. Let's say I want to get out. I want to flatten my trade. All I need to do is click on the price in Jigsaw. Jigsaw has this feature. You click on the price. If you click below where the current price is, last traded price, it's going to bring your stop immediately to that price. If you click above where the price is, then it's going to bring your limit order immediately to that price. So that's one way that I use to flatten my position. And another thing to note, again, there's less input lag on my mouse than there is on my keyboard. And I've tried it. I've done this test. If you try and flatten your position with a button versus flattening your position by clicking on the mouse, the mouse is faster. There's less input lag there. So if you're scalping and milliseconds are an issue, then you want to be trading with something that has the less input lag possible. You don't want input lag because that millisecond difference is going to make a difference in your order fill. If you're trading in fast market scalping, that is, okay? But I don't know shit. Just my opinion. What else we got here? First question, Roman. What brought you to trading and how many years you've been into this? Okay, so I have a small bio in the description. You can read that to get a general idea. So I've been trading since Q3 of 2018. What brought me into trading? I'll be honest with you. I was looking for other ways to kind of build passive income and income in general. I guess that's the way that everyone gets into trading to start, right? They look at the stock market as a way to make money, but in reality, once you're in it for long enough, you're like, yeah, I haven't really been making much money here. I've only been slowly losing it, right? So it definitely takes a lot of time and experience to learn what works and what doesn't. When I first got into it, I got into trading more as investing than anything. The first stock I bought was Caterpillar, and I bought it at like $100 or something in 2018. No, it wasn't $100. It was like 140 around there, 110 to 140. And I sold it on a profit because I managed to get in as the market was dipping, and I felt like a god, right? It was my first trade ever. I got paid on it, right? And I felt like a god. It's normal. That's how everybody gets into trading. They have beginner's luck. and then I started trading options maybe a few months after that. I also had beginner's luck there. I remember one trade I took on Boeing, where there was some news that a plane crashed or something, and I got into I don't remember if it was a call or a put, but I bought an option, and within 30 minutes I had made $2,000. And I felt like a god, obviously. And after a few months after that of trading options, I realized that holy shit, I lost all of that money and a lot more trading options because it's not that easy, right? There's a lot of factors involved with options trading, like time decay, right? Buy an option, hold it 3 weeks, you're going to lose all your premium. So, a lot of stuff like that. That's sort of like a beginner, like of how I first got into it. Generally unstable even after increasing data. Imanosaurus, I know you like IB, but are you using a different broker for futures? If you aren't, are you hoping to eventually transition to a different broker? Just wondering because I'm an options scalper trying. Yeah, I use AMP for futures trading. That's the broker I use currently. Because I'm a low volume trader more or less, but AMP is for me AMP is the lowest commissions that I have access to. The higher volume you do as a trader, the more leeway you're gonna have. Fat Cat told me something funny where it was something similar to that, where the more volume you do, the more leeway you have in the sense that you can get 3-4 brokers on the phone and have them fight for you. Because let's say if you do 1,000 contracts a day, that's good business for a broker, man. To transition, yeah. Hey, no problem, Mohammed. Appreciate it. IRIDS, ID Risk, who's your mentor? Well, one guy that helped me a lot, his name is EMiniOS. You can check him out on Twitter and YouTube. He helped me a lot with learning about trading the futures, market profile, and that kind of stuff. Is VWAP on IBKR accurate? I don't know. You'd have to try it and compare it to other platforms. And again, you have to try it out, compare it to different things. So, like turning it off. Intraday VWAP on IBKR. So Roman says it's accurate. RMO, Romeo Power. Is that a ticker? Yeah, it is. All right, daily chart. Take off session profiles. Interesting. Well, what I can see clearly, demanded from $6.90, give or take. Offered from $9.78, give or take. Can also say, yeah, $9.90. Like this whole area here is a bit of overhead resistance. 12-hour chart. I'll extend the zone up to there. So that's the supply zone I can see right now from 978 to 1036. As you can see here, well, look at this high volume node, how it seems to be demanded from this area here. So I'll just zoom out a bit. Yeah, so you can see there's clearly someone bidding it in this area, someone buying it here. Normally what I've noticed with this kind of stuff is when you see a refreshing bid, at some point it's gonna crash through it just to test, right? But it might not happen. But again, it's just something I've noticed a lot in the futures market. That is, when you see a big refreshing bid like that and it tests multiple times and it's right on a high volume node like this, sooner or later the market's going to come down and test out the stops, because this has become too much of an obvious sort of area. So that's a setup right there. So that's kind of how I see this right now. We're kind of smack in the middle of a range. Well, I guess the range that I've plotted, give or take. It's bearish right now on the daily time frame, but we've consolidated now 4 days in a row here, so this is interesting. So we're seeing some consolidation. I would say it's not really bullish though. So I would say if you're trying to buy a short term, it's not really bullish short term. It is bearish on the daily time frame though. All right. 30-minute, not really much to see there. I guess you could say it was demanded from 848, offered up at 880, 878, some absorption there. That's the area where we've seen saw the refreshing order. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. Let me know if that helped you at all. I know I don't give you guys, like, it's not like an in-depth analysis. I'm not really trying to say it's a buy or it's a sell. I'm trying to actually give you both perspectives here, because like that's how I think when I approach a market. I think of it from both perspectives, from the perspective of a bull and the perspective of a bear. I don't think it's healthy to think of a market in one directionally only, you know. Good frog image. Oh gosh, happy peppy. AMC last, okay, OS, yeah. I know it's been a while, but I remember you writing there. Okay, AMC last 5 minutes Friday. I don't know why that would be relevant. Why would the last 5 minutes be relevant to your trading decisions? I mean, unless you're scalping it. I mean, you'd have to see what was going on more in detail. But again, guys, like we just came out of quad witching, right? So there's a lot of portfolio rebalancing, a lot of massive orders that were hitting the market. Overall, it causes a lot of randomness. So it's not really something you can base a trading decision off. That's why I took Friday off for that reason only, because I know there tends to be a lot of randomness, and my methods of trading don't really work very well when the market is very random like that, right? You get one hedger coming in, buys 500 NASDAQ in a second and takes out your stop. You know, you might have had a good trade location, but this guy, he doesn't care about any of your trade locations. He's got 500 to buy, he's got 5,000 to buy, right? And he's just gonna buy them. Last 5 minutes AMC, I don't know what you're looking at, man. So what? We saw a 5 minute, it closed a little higher in the center of the range here. Look at the profile, the session. That's sort of a demand zone, give or take, 59. Below 59, pretty bearish. I don't know. That's what I was saying before, wasn't it? 15 minute, yeah. So you see this big old demand zone here? A lot of liquidity up in this area. If we kind of hold here and go lower, there's a chance that we start exploring some of these single prints. So all this is a single print. Probably a good chance to do some trading here if it can hold below the 59 handle, give or take. If it holds above the 59 handle, probably stay in the range. That's what I see. And again, all of this, all of what I'm saying here, you won't really be able to trade it unless you really see what's going on in the inside market. I don't know. Anyways, I'll stop it there. Let's see next. Could you tell me how to get the volume indicator you use on TradingView? Yeah, it's really simple. So you mean the volume profile? You go up to indicators, then you go to volume profile, and then you go to the one I got is visible range, and also session volume. That's the ones I've got. All right. They couldn't explain. Yeah. Is ZMM high? On Interactive Broker TWS, we have hotkeys to sell proportions of shares. Nope, there's no hotkeys for that. That's one of the most asked questions ever that I've ever gotten. It's not possible, sir. You gotta do it yourself. Meaning, if you're long 500 and you want to sell 250, put in a sell order for 250. Stop being lazy. Do it. However, there is some ways to automate it. Like you can use a scale order. If you use a scale order properly, you can have it so that it sells half at one point, and when you get paid on a portion of your trade, it's going to adjust your stop to be the right position size. It's a little bit technical to get that going, but send me an email. I can help you if you want. If I have time, which I don't. What time are we here? Okay, 1 o'clock. All right, still got a bit of time. Man, I feel like I have human slippage. The Stream Deck allows me to be at market. It is almost video game control. Like I was unaware of the price ladder moving in Jigsaw. Thanks for the tip. Hey, cheers, man. No problem. Roman, second question. When you were trading via IB, were you able to put a daily loss limit? I mean that hard stop after which broker locks your account from trading into the next day. No, you can't do that. You know what? I asked him about that too way back when I was having a bit of a rough time trading some options, and I noticed I was kind of gambling a bit. I was not really being very disciplined. Nope, they can't do that. You should have you got to work on that discipline on your own. Have your own loss limit, right? It takes time to do this, especially when you're first new to trading, because you want to trade more when you're new to trading. You want to gain experience, so you're less likely to respect your loss limits, right? So if you set a loss limit of $50, you take 3 trades, 4 trades, get stopped out each time for a $10, $20 loss. You hit your loss limit, and it's only maybe 30 minutes into the session. Yeah, that's the problem. So I've been in that situation a number of times, and you just got to get better, right? So when that happens, don't get mad about it. You just got to realize you just got to get better. You were not reading the market correctly. If you got stopped 3-4 times in a row like that, you were not reading it correctly. You were not managing your trades correctly, and that's it. That's how I see it, at least. Same story. Wow. Know how do you get the sidebars on TradeView? I just showed that, so I hope you saw that. John, I'm now working with OCO orders to set up more complex hotkeys, but I would like to talk to Pete with Jigsaw to see if adding hotkeys on his end is available. Yeah, you can always request it to support and say, hey, can you guys add this? Can you guys add that? Vlad, man. I swear you gotta start your own comedy show, bro. This market is gonna need trader therapy. You're always gonna need trader therapy. Coin, LMND, and HDR. That's 3 in a row, man. It's like a coin. Oh, goodness gracious. This is why I don't trade stocks, guys. Just look at these fucking charts. So yeah, it's a really ugly daily chart. Kind of demanded in this area, 226.60. You can see that there's some buying going on here. Someone kind of passively buying it. short term, well, I guess it's kind of in a really light trading range here. I wouldn't say there's a lot of opportunity here. It's not really moving around a lot. So, you know, generally speaking, when stocks are in, when any market is in a trading range like this small, you're seeing that the volatility is not very high, and therefore there's not a lot of opportunity to trade it. Now, if you zoom in a little more, you might be able to see some more opportunity there. So here's like an example of a 2-hour chart. So what I can see here is that there's a lot of volume, again, around this 226 handle, telling me that, you know, there's kind of a passive buyer. Maybe it's insiders accumulating shares, buying back their shares that they sold up here to people buying it on the initial offering. You know, that's how it works, right? It's an initial offering. The company's offering their shares, so they sold them there to whoever bought it, right? And now, well, it's at a lower price. Maybe you can buy some more back. So that explains why the market is kind of pausing here. Again, I'm just kind of thinking it in terms of like just basic psychology. Like if I was in managing a company, and we saw, you know, what is this, like a 100% drop or something? No, not a one. It's like a 50% drop or more. I would want to buy a little more. I mean, I'd want to buy more, buy some shares back. I don't know. Just buy the dip, bro. What's the other one? LMND. Lemonade. I like lemonade. Just not when it's too expensive. You got the people in the old city that they sell lemonade for like $5 a pop, bro. That's like who would buy lemonade for $5, bro? Are you serious? It's water and sugar. All right, LMND now. I mean, I like the daily chart. It's pretty bullish. Saw a little pullback here. So this is kind of what I see here now. Seen it's the market was supplied down from this 103 zone. Saw some profit taking, and now we're trading back into this area. So generally speaking, above this daily chart is bullish. So you can buy it all you want. Keep in mind, we are trading into some kind of bigger picture supply zone. Again, it extends up to 105. Again, just a bit of context, right? So a bit of context, there's supply zone, you know, 103 to 105. Above that, I wouldn't be short biased at all. I would be long biased in this. Again, you look at the daily chart. See, there's low volume areas to be filled. Now again, how I would play this, for example, let's say we saw a move up and then we re-enter the range. At that point, that's a red flag. So that's the pattern. Auction up, fail. Now we're below the supply zone again and we're going lower. In that case, I would be short biased and my profit target would be under that low to take out the stops. All right. And that kind of idea works on a short time frame too. I like trading that pattern. It works a lot. And the last one you said was HD. Why does it say the? The. Daily chart's kind of ugly. It's going down on the daily chart, closing lower every day. I mean, closing lower below the low of the previous day every time. So daily chart's bearish. Low volume area here. And if I go out, yeah, look at that. So look at that move up. I'm looking at the profile here. All of these single prints, this low volume area here. On the way back down, now you can see it's slowly starting to fill up this area. Going down slowly, going down slowly, going down slowly, going down slowly. So I would say it's not done going down. As long as it continues this, you know, every day making a lower high, probably not done going down. Daily chart. Paula, where do you look for economic news? Joseph, what's going on, Joseph? You can look at economic calendar, but for my intraday news, I look at Journalytics, and it gives you a. So let's go over there. As long as it's not showing any account numbers, good. So like this is the intraday news feed here. Right now it's not being updated, I guess. There hasn't been any economic news related to the stock market because it's Saturday. But this is where news updates in real time here. It's a news feed that comes with Journalytics, which is related to jigsaw trading. That's what I use to see it. Also, it has an economic calendar here, so it will show all of the news on the day. But there's a lot of other sources there you can use that I don't know about. Are you looking for any? Oh, wait. $2 trillion worth of options said expire. Yeah, they said yesterday was like the second most options that expired ever in the history of the stock market. Are you looking for any semiconductors manufacturers to invest in? Nope. But if you are, let me know what they are, because I don't know. When is SOXL gonna moon? I don't know, man. When you get stopped out, how about that? Daily chart is pretty bearish from that. It's not bullish below 39.74. As you can see, it's going down here. Demanded maybe 30 bucks. Lower end of the range. Yep, that's kind of where we stand there. I'm probably gonna stick around another half an hour here, guys. Let's see. Don't forget to like the stream, guys, if you're here now and you just got in. Did we still have music playing? Or is this like a... Yeah, it is still music playing. It's kind of lightly playing in the background. Third question, is there a certain spot in your trading journey that you consider as a revealing point, point of growth, point that led to a shift in your perspective? Several. What happened then? Yeah. I would say in the last year, I've definitely made a lot of improvements in my trading. And they've been gradual improvements, but I don't think there's been one moment where it was like an aha moment where I just realized, wow, like I just realized so much stuff in one day. No. What I have learned in trading is that almost every trading session, I learned something new about what's going on now. And as time kind of goes on, I noticed that in the last month, in the last 3 weeks or so, I've noticed that I've been the tweaks have been much smaller. In the last 3 to 4 months now, the tweaks have been they've been smaller tweaks that I've been doing to my trading. So I haven't been changing much, and that's kind of what I've noticed over the long haul of my trading is in the first couple of years, I was changing stuff around so much, right? You learn about a lot of new stuff. You're changing this, you change that, and what that results in is you have no consistency at all. And in the last 6 months, I've been changing stuff a lot less. Really, it's only been small tweaks, which generally speaking is going to result in you starting to see more consistency in your trading. So that's one thing I've noticed. Yeah. You can program sequences for lot sizes on IBKR. I have a few one-button pushes that execute limit orders. There is another guy on YouTube that shows how. Tradeovate allows you to set daily loss limits as well as targets where you can set your limits and lock yourself out. That seems like an interesting feature for degenerates. But again, that whole thing about having like a daily profit target, that's so subjective. I understand loss limits because trading is about risk management. So loss limits, 100% you need a loss limit on the day. 100%. However, profit limits, I don't believe in it. From my experience of trading, I don't believe in having a profit limit, a limit that if you say, okay, I made 300 bucks, I'm stopping. No, I don't believe in that, because this is why I don't believe in it. Because trading is the same thing as a restaurant business or an ice cream shop. Some of you might have heard me say this before. You make the most of your money in 2-3 days, 3 days, 4 days. And the rest of the days, 10 to 15 days, you're grinding, man. This whole month I've been grinding. The market has been kind of slow and not really ideal for my style. And then when you're doing well on a session, you don't want to stop. You want to keep trading when you're doing well, when you're reading it well. That's why you need filters that tell you if you're seeing it right. If you're seeing the market right, and if you're reading it right, keep fucking trading it. Just keep trading it for what it is until it changes, until it's something is changing and you can see, okay, now the market's changing, it's getting slow again, lunchtime, whatever. Then you stop. Get the hell out of there. But when you're reading it right, you keep fucking trading, man. And when you're not reading it right, you stop trading or you trade less until you see what's going on. So that whole thing about, P&L trade, don't trade your P&L, man. Trade the market you're seeing right now. If you're reading it right, keep friggin' scalping it, man. Scalp it for all it's worth. You make $100, $200, $300, $1,000, doesn't matter, man. As long as you're reading it right, keep trading it. But yeah, limit your risk. Don't limit your profits. 100 lot buy and sell buttons and 5 lots for options, but I don't use enough. Someone's cooking barbecue wings. I can smell it from my neighborhood. That sounds good. IBKR coin, IPO coin related to Kathy Woods, ARK. What do you prefer to trade over stocks? Futures, my friend. Trade options once in a while, but I try to stay away mostly. Futures. They're the best to scalp. And probably good long term if it stays above some round numbers. Feed ducks while they're quacking. How do you determine you are? How do you determine you are? Kind of Excel formulas or simple math in mind, like a 1% of capital. I don't really get the question. Do you mean how do you determine your risk? Yeah, I mean the general rule should be, over a sequence of X amount of trades, how many dollars made for every dollar risked. On top of that, the smaller statistic would be how often are you winning your trades versus how often are you not. That's a less important statistic because the market changes so much that you can't give so much precedence to a win rate, right? Because you might have one day where you're just crushing it. You might have 3 days where you're just crushing it. And then on the 4th day, now the market changed. Jerome Powell will come out and start talking about some shit, and now the market changed. You can't trade the market like you saw it 3 days ago. You got to trade it like it's trading now. Okay? So, what was I getting at? I'm going on a fucking tangent again. That's what I like to do. I like to think of it like this. How much am I risking for the potential reward in the trade? And of course, it has to be relevant to your account size too. And that's why you determine your trading size, right? You determine the size of your trading based on the size of your account, of course. And that's going to depend on trader to trader, right? Some traders say risk 1%, some are more aggressive, 5%, 10%. It really depends, right? I think I'm somewhere around the 5% marker per trade, but maybe less, I don't know. And that's for futures. But again, I also have means of executing my trades where I scratch trades too. So like I don't let trades come to my stop, or I try not to let trades hit my stop. That's part of my method as well. So I'll try and scratch it for less than the stop, and that's like a really important skill to have as a short-term trader. Oh, all right. I really have to go to the bathroom. 1 second, guys. Too much water. Put the music louder there. Put the music louder for the stream while I go to the bathroom.
Yo, yo. You know, one of these crispy things. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for hearing us out. Let's see. Sounds like we have a similar backstory. Watching your videos from years prior, you would think you have had skin in the game longer. And my mobile right now is still taking off. Hey, take care, man. Nice to see you, Mr. Redpath. Keep up the good work. Love being your mind to watch your supply and demand zones. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, thanks for the kind words, Mohammed. I appreciate it, man. Why is there still no Discord channel for your devoted fans? You know. I do have a Discord. You can join it via the YouTube join button. The only reason I did that is because, I don't know. Maybe I'll just make it free. I don't know. I'll think about it. Hey, congrats on your evolution, and it has been cool to see you grow. I have a similar trading strat. Do you have a Discord? So he asked the same thing. Yeah, I have a Discord. You can join it. Cartman Asan, you rock discipline. True discipline come from within. Yeah, and I have a 32 key. Set it up like a controller. I have a trade panel for trading. Favorite apps page, websites, everything in one key to execution. Stream Deck is the best. Big Toasty, what are your setups? Good question. I'm gonna answer you 1 second. Haha. Alright, lower the music now. I basically have 3 setups. 3 playbooks. Number 1, I call it the passive trade, or the market maker trade, the passive limit trade, where I'm offered or bid in a zone, and I need a very quick fill to get entered on the trade. I need a sweep to my price. If it's not doing that, I pull the order or I move it lower. If I really like the area, I'll move the order about 2-3 points away. I'm trading NASDAQ futures. That's the first setup. So I look to, basically it's a range play, right? So if the market's offered at 97 and it's moving down, there's other factors indicating that it's going down. I'm going to look to offer it around 97, maybe a little lower, especially if there's a liquidity pool there. So we're trading in the 80s, right? And then we see a quick move up to 97. I'm going to look to get filled on a limit sell in that area. That's one setup. The other setup is called you would call it more of a momentum scalp. For example, let's say the market's been moving very kind of aggressively. It's going up. This trade is a little bit more aggressive, and I don't like it as much, but this is the type of trading setup that you have to sometimes buy at the top of a range and sell at the bottom of a range. And it statistically, I have had not great results doing it, but in some cases you can get away with it. And really, there has to be other factors playing into it. So let's say the top of the range is 97, right? But we've been kind of creepy crawling our way up, and I look at the delta and we're minus 300, meaning that there might be a surplus of shorts in the market that need to be puked out. In that case, I might consider bidding it near the top of the range. But with this type of trade, I'm more aggressive for scratching it. Meaning that if I'm not right within like the first 10-20 seconds, I'm going to scratch it. If I'm offside by 2-3 points, I'm going to scratch it. I'm not going to let that thing take me out for my stop of whatever, 5-6 points. So the aggressive trade, I try to scratch them faster. And the third setup would be a fade. And again, it's similar to the aggressive trade because you're betting on the market to work immediately in your favor. And an example of a fade would be
What would be this? Look. The market's going up. Comes back into the range. Tries again for the top end. Then I'll trade it on the short side for a reversal. And my stop, to take out the stops here. So I'll sell it here. After we've moved up and tried to test the upper extreme again and come back into the range, I'll sell it here with a profit target on the other side of the bottom of the range. You can call, that's not really necessarily a fade. Actually, a fade would be more like this. Let me give you another example. This will be a fade, look. Market's in a trading range. Move down, come back into the range, you buy it here. Betting it's gonna hold the bottom end of the range. It's a little bit dangerous. What you normally want to see here is a lot of traders getting stopped out down here. A lot of sell stops getting triggered. And then it's kind of slowly bidding back into the range. That's a good opportunity for a fade. That's a fade trade, okay? Basically like 3 setups. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, Bullet Man, no problem, man. I'll be watching later. Thanks, John. I'll look into it. If you trade based on P&L, expected, you become market slave. Yeah, basically. What are your entry rules? I kind of gave you a lot of them. How do you find DOM in the NASDAQ scalping action? Yeah, I would say the DOM is the only way. It really helps get a good idea of what's going on and how the velocity is in the price and everything. That's like, it's really important for me. Chris, can you spell the name of the trader you mentioned? Yes, that's what it is. You spelled it correctly, Ian. On Twitter, that's his name. What do you mean about charge? I don't know. I have a friend with the 15 key. It is okay. He toggles screens to have more features. I have blank keys. E-mini OS. You can find him in Chris's subscription list. Yup. Jigsaw just needs more program hotkeys for limit orders. I still have to grab the mouse from time to time. Found him. Thanks, Roman. Last ticker for me, JMIA. Chris, thanks for the answers and all the value. Means so much. Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thanks so much, sir. Why the flamingos you and JB Peterson inspired me to buy a wall art. You know, I really don't know. I just like it. Some things you don't have to explain in life. You just have to just do it because you like it, right? JMIA, all right. JMIA, boom. Jumia Technologies. Well, it looks similar to the other chart you sent me, doesn't it? Doesn't it, sir? We have a big move up on the daily chart, somewhat. So that's bullish. Now we're supplied. Now the market is supplied. From 31, 26, no, a little higher than that. 31.50, give or take. All right, and you can see, look at that perfect test. Look at that perfect test, right? Supplied from the area, perfect test of the area, fails, comes back down. Now again, we're back in the range. So we're kind of down here now. What you'd like to see here is the market, well, if you're bullish on the market, you'd like to see it hold above this area to be bull biased still. Demand zone here. You could say kind of a demand zone here, but I don't like it that much. It's really more here, 28.40. That's sort of a demand zone daily chart, one time framing. Zoom out a bit, 12 hour. Yeah, 28 here, yeah. So you have like sort of the middle of the range here. And again, look at how we respected that. These are market maker pivots, guys. Like, look at how perfectly the friggin' market respects these levels, dude. It's like unbelievable. It's like there's literally computer algorithms that are programmed to stop selling it at that point or stop buying it at that point. Anyhow, I don't fucking know. All I know is that the market respects these areas. So just watch for it, right? Look at that. Perfect high volume node right there. Bounce right off the friggin' zone. Now, this is the zone we're in right now. 2740 to 2835. That's your demand zone short term. Supply zone up here. 3150 to 3275. That's your supply zone, give or take. And well, we're in the middle of a larger perspective range. So I would say below this 2740 here, I'm short biased. However, it's a little dangerous too. So that's sort of contextually how I would see that. All right. So again, there, demand zone here, supply zone here. Center of the range, I try to stay out of the way when the market's like in the center of a range like that. It's not really, yeah. I want to stay out of the center of the range. What I found out, if you want to teach or explain something, you really have to learn the subject deeply. Does this streams help you increase your confidence and knowledge? That's true what you said, yeah. Like teaching helps with understanding stuff. But I like sharing too. I like kind of like helping new traders out and like sharing my experiences, you know, in the trading world, because there's a lot of kind of BS out there. There's a lot of misconceptions out there about trading. So like I kind of want to basically shed some light on it and be like, yo, like guys, like that's a lot of BS. You know, you gotta get your head straight here, because it's not just gonna go straight to the moon as some people think. In fact, you're gonna experience a lot of pain because you're not ready for it. A lot of traders think trading is about making profit. Really, it's not. It's about managing risk. Okay, so you got to know that. So that's the story, my friends. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Let's see what song we're listening to here. All right, so if we got no more questions, I'm gonna be out of the gates here today, guys. I'm gonna go enjoy my Saturday. We've been here for about 2 hours, so we'll catch you in the next one. Peace, my friends. Peace.